Okay, let's talk about some horror news right here. Before we get into it, we are on the road to 35,000 subscribers. We will have some giveaways, a ton of videos all summer, so you don't want to miss out on any of that. Make sure you're subscribed. But let's get started. We got a very heavy Blumhouse video today because there's some Blumhouse announcements. And also, let's talk about Bill Skarsgard's comments on Count Orlock being gross but sexy. So let's get into the Blumhouse My Bloody Valentine reboot that apparently could be happening. According to Bloody Disgusting, they have learned that Blumhouse is developing a new My Bloody Valentine movie. So My Bloody Valentine, I think, has always been one of those horror franchises that could have become something, because it's not really a franchise, right? We had the original from the 80s, and then we had the 2009 reboot of sorts. And, you know, it was a movie that did pretty well, especially the Bloody Valentine 3D 2009 release, which made over $100 million. So I very much so think that we do have some potential here, especially for a franchise that hasn't been messed with that much, because they can really go out and do something new and fresh and different with it. And I don't think most of the general audience would care. So if they do decide to do this, I would definitely be interested. So in 1981 film, it says, a decades-old folktale surrounding a deranged murderer killing those who celebrate Valentine's Day turns out to be true to legend when a group defies the killer's order and people start turning up dead. So this is definitely one that gets me excited. I think we do need a Valentine's horror film of sorts. I think they saw what happened with Thanksgiving when they made that film, how it kind of went on to become something more than they expected. And, you know, Thanksgiving did have that cultish feel because of the fake trailer Eli Roth had made for Grindhouse. And I think My Bloody Valentine could definitely also have that, because it's just like a classic horror movie name, and they could definitely develop something interesting with that. So I'm curious to see what they eventually will do with this film. But let me know what you think, and if you're a fan of the 81 or 2009 film for My Bloody Valentine. And what do you think about Blumhouse doing all these remakes? Warranted or not? But let's talk about Blumhouse now making another Exorcist film. And before all you Exorcist believer haters start getting pissed, I want to give you some good news. It turns out it's scrapped. They're not making the trilogy anymore. So The Exorcist Believer just stands alone as a sequel to The Exorcist, and this new film will go on and do something different, and they're calling it a radical new take on The Exorcist. So we've learned now from Blumhouse that David Gordon Green is officially out. It will not be making a sequel or another Exorcist film for them for the time being, but that Mike Flanagan will step up to make the new film. So in a statement, Mike Flanagan says, The Exorcist is one of the reasons I became a filmmaker, and it is an honor to have the chance to try something fresh, bold, and terrifying within its universe. Reuniting with my friends at Blumhouse, with whom I've had some of my favorite pieces of work, only makes this more exciting. Jason Blum went on to add as well, Mike's voice and vision are indispensable for horror fans, and we are excited to welcome him back to Blumhouse. I immediately responded to Mike's new take on the world of The Exorcist and can't wait for audiences to experience it. And you also had the CEO of Morgan Creek, David Robinson, say, it's an honor to be working with Mike. I think his vision for this franchise is going to stun audiences worldwide, and could not be more excited to be working with him, Trevor, Jason, and the entire Blumhouse team. So we do have this film coming out now, which is going to be The Exorcist whatever. We don't know the title yet, and I'm interested to see what exactly Mike Flanagan does want to do with the franchise. I think David Gordon Green took it in an interesting direction, honestly. I think Believer, if you think about it just as an Exorcist film, not The Exorcist, but as an Exorcist film, is definitely one of the best possession films we've gotten in some time. And I think that people were a little bit more harsher on it just because of the whole legacy thing with The Exorcist, which I can understand to a degree, but at one point I'm just like, it's still a pretty good horror film, I think, and it has some pretty interesting ideas and thoughts, and, you know, in my opinion, it's not bad, really. But I'm excited for Mike Flanagan. I really do appreciate his work, and I think he has done the best legacy sequel of all time with Dr. Sleep. So if Mike Flanagan is on board to push the Exorcist franchise forward, I'm all here for it, and I'm excited to see what it will be. But let me know what you think about that and this whole idea of a new Exorcist film. Do you think people will come back to it? I think that Believer film did pretty good at the box office, so I think people will come back for it, so we'll see. But let's talk about the big story here today, which is Bill Skarsgard teasing his Nosferatu look and performance as gross and very sexualized. So as we know, yes, we will be having Robert Eggers coming to do the Nosferatu film that's been in development for some time now. Bill Skarsgard will be playing Count Orlock for this film, and this is some of the stuff that actually was said about the actor. Skarsgård went on to talk about how they work with an opera singer to bring his voice down to its lowest possible pitch, spend 3 to 6 hours a day, every day in makeup and prosthetics. He says, "It was like conjuring pure evil. It took a while for me to shake off the demon that had been conjured up inside of me. It took its toll. I don't think people are going to recognize me in it." And he additionally teased that he's gross, it is very sexualized, it's playing like a sexual fetish about the power of the monster and what has that special appeal to you. Hopefully you'll get a little bit attracted by it and disgusted by your own attraction at the same time. So Robert Eggers' Nosferatu will be releasing on December 25th, so Merry Christmas to you all. And it is of course the gothic tale of obsession between a haunted young woman in 19th century Germany and the ancient Transylvanian vampire who stalks her, bringing untold horror with them. So I'm excited for this film. I think that it definitely has a ton of possibilities, and the fact that Bill Skarsgård is describing Count Orlock like this really has me interested, because not exactly what I was thinking when we see some of the pictures where we barely see Count Orlock. Like, we have yet to see a full-on picture of Count Orlock, and I'm excited if they never show it, because I think that it'd be just great to experience that in the theaters. Remember when you would just experience stuff in the theaters? Like, they never really showed you what was coming next, and you just saw these things appear and you're just like, what is that? I'm excited for that feeling again if they don't show it, but you know, you never know. Nowadays they like to show everything, so we probably could be a couple of weeks out before we see Count Orlock on like one day you'll wake up, you'll open Twitter, whatever you use, and then that's going to be the trending picture or post of the day, like Bill Skarsgård's unrecognizable as Count Orlock, which course he has to be, right? But I'm excited and I cannot wait. Let me know what you think about all of this news. Horror seems to definitely be pushing through, as always, very much so the saving grace of the theaters, just like superhero films are. So we're excited and always will be seated for them. But let me know what you think about Bill Skarsgård's gross and sexy Count Orlock. Let me know what you think about Mike Flanagan directing an Exorcist film, and what do you think about My Bloody Valentine coming back? Is it time, or do you think this franchise is not at all there? But we'll see. Anyways, as always, make sure you subscribe, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. 35K, that's our goal, and we'll get to it. As always, stay safe. Stay positive.